Let's go over some of the basics. First thing you'll notice, I'm working within the Excel application rather than working in a browser-based version of Excel like you would find under Office.com. You should have access to both given your sign-in to your NorthPark account, but I'm going to work in the application version. First thing I'm going to do is go to File, and we're going to give this thing a name. I'm going to save it as and make sure I put it in a very specific place. So I'm going to put it onto my PC and I'm going to store this one on the desktop. I always like to give files a name that's intentional. So I'm going to start with BSE 2310. That's my course name. Then dash. Then I name what's in here like file structure. Then the last thing I like to do is put a date on here. So this is 082326. And then I'm going to go ahead and click save. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to come down over here and zoom in just a little bit to like 130 so you can see a little bit better of what I'm doing. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and double click onto the sheet name. And in the sheet name, we're going to give it a specific name and we'll just call this the video because I'm recording the video for you right now. And now I've got the ability to navigate to page layout. And page setup is going to be an area where I can do all kinds of things. I'm going to click this arrow in here. You notice that my orientation of my page is by default portrait, will be in landscape a lot of the times. I always want to see this set up at 100% so that it's not overly shrunk. But what I'm going to go do now is go to my header. And in that custom header button, I'm going to go into the center section and I'm going to use the variables that I just set up. So if I put file name here and then hit enter, and then the next icon next to it is tab name, and then click OK. When I go and hit print preview then, oh, there's nothing to print in there, so I'll just put some randomness in there that it can print for me. Now when I print preview, notice I have that file name and the tab name in my header. Let's go back to page layout and page setup. And this time under header footer, let's go into the custom footer. And down here in the center section, I like to type the word page. Then I'm going to use the second icon for page number, and then a slash, and then number of pages. So now when I click OK and then print preview at this time, I have that header as well as I now have that footer available to me. Then I want to show you a couple of other things. So off of the home page, my version of Excel may look a little bit different than yours, but I have this thing called alignment, which includes things like centering, wrapping text, and merging center. But over here too, I also have something called cells, like insert, delete, and format. And over here I have something called editing, which will be some of our more advanced skills that we'll do in a little bit. So let's go back to cells, and from cells, I'm going to pick format. If we go ahead and look at the column width then, you'll notice that my default is 8.08. I like to work in multiples of 5. So I'm going to change that to 10 for this one. And then I can go back up there and show you again too that if I go under cells and format, I can also look at the row height. Its default is set to 14.5. And I'm just going to leave that there and not touch it so that I don't have to worry about it. Now that I've done that, I have a good file that if I was to print preview it, has the header and the footer, an intentional file name, an intentional tab name, an intentional column width, and then the fonts that I'm going to use in here are going to be Aptos Narrow, and then I'm going to use Aptos Narrow 11. This is my expectation for how all of your files will be set up as well in every element of the file structure that I've just shown.